survived it. As I see it, class warfare, the only resort to right-wing doom. It's worth it. How to talk to your right-wing relatives, friends, and neighbors, and other books written by Egberto Willis. Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. Good morning to the entire United States. And of course, good morning to the entire world. Getting our signals via the magic of the internet, formerly known as the ARPANET, created by whom? We the people, created by you, now dominated by the billionaires, trying to control your thought process, trying to control who you are, and trying to turn you into nothing but a cog in this economic system. Anyway, before any further ado, let's get to the studio where we have there the geniuses, El Señor Howard Reynolds and Jack Van Bibba.
And Jack is the genius for today. He noticed something was wrong. He said, "Look, this is not right." And I said, "Yeah, you're right." So he fixed it and it saved the day. So all is well down here. It is Friday morning at the radio, the 28th of February, the last day of February. We are still in Fund Drive, and we got to pitch over here to Sandy Wyman, our interim general manager. Sandy, can you hear me now?
I hope so. Good morning.
He hopes so.
Apparently he did.
Good morning, Egberto.
Morning.
But one day from our 55th birthday, which is tomorrow, and I hope everybody's doing well on this Friday, this pre-Mardi Gras Friday. Big weekend coming up in H-Town. We're going to have the Mardi Gras in Galveston, all kinds of parades and festivities and king cakes wherever you go. Have a slice if you're able. Folks, we are in our 9th day of our February-March Fund Drive, and I'm really happy to tell everybody that last night we crossed the $100,000 mark. We stand at $100,725 on the way to $170,000, which will fund KPFT until sometime in late May when we come back and we do it again, ask for funds to continue. It's the way it's been for 54 years and 364 days. So, hey, we're doing pretty good so far for over that time. Let's not break the chain today. We've got a modest goal on this program of $400, and collectively we can get there. Our phone number is 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. And thanks to those 560 distinct acts of kindness that have led us to this six-figure point. Let's keep the ball rolling. Back to you, Egberto.
All right. Before I get started with the program today, we get to hear our message of wisdom from the one and only Jack Van Bibba.
Good morning, Egberto. How are you?
I am doing fine, Jack. Talk to me.
Okay. First off, I want to remind the people about the spending boycott today. Don't spend any money to send a resistance message that the people aren't happy.
I don't have any money to spend. They fixed all that.
All right. America, you're experiencing a corporate takeover of government with the assistance of conservative right-wing politicians. The right means to rule, not governments. Citizens, do you want to be ruled by billionaires whose egos are so big they think of you as cattle to be butchered or chickens to be plucked? What they're attempting to do is capture the public sector by destabilizing the workplace of government employees first. Government employees face demoralizing emails daily to create uncertainty and instill fear, pushing workers to comply or resign, ultimately resulting in the failure of the public institutions so they can be privatized. So join us today in sending a message. Don't spend any money. Just don't buy anything today and send that message. That's what it's designed to do, the boycott.
You know, thank you for that, Jack. That's an important message. And yes, let's do the boycott. I mean, it's interesting because My wife got home and she said, I do need to get a couple of things. I'm tired. So like, well, you know what? We need to show solidarity, something that Aquino was talking about yesterday, and make sure not to shop, to show them that the power that we really have. Now, here's the interesting thing, right? There was a pseudo thing done a few years back. I don't know if you guys remember when the pandemic started. It really scared the bejesus out of the capitalist structure because people started to get by without this super hard consumerism. People were just buying the things that they needed as they stayed home. People were finding other means of entertaining themselves, etc. Look, I'm not saying this is a good thing, bad thing, or whatever, but I think there ought to be a balance between, the individual, we the people, and how much the business sector can extract from us. And of course, it has to be our choice. What they noticed during that time, first of all, people stopped using petroleum, and petroleum went from the very high price that it had for one particular day. Petroleum had a negative value. In other words, they were paying people to hold on to petroleum. Why? Because again, they had to store. They were. You can't shut these things down on a dime, and they had to find places to put this oil. So they were begging people to take the oil, take the oil. This economy isn't run by Elon Musk. This economy isn't run by all these individuals. We need all of us, because all of us is what makes an economy. And anybody sits back there and think they should have a better crack at it than you have another thing coming. Even when it talks about the poor people that are on welfare, or poor people that are on support, if people like to look down at them. But whatever support poor people get, that goes right back into the economy, immediately generating strong economic activity. We are all in the same game. And the title of the show today is the Trump administration attacking companies seeking diversity and rewarding those ripping us off. So, I mean, if you want to know the essence, the economic essence of the Trump administration, that line says it all. And it was represented by two different articles that I came up with. When I'm reading articles, I try to go firstly to the independent media rags, meaning the websites that are run by independent media. They have a good way, including the one that I write, of course. Um, what we try to do in the independent media is aggregate good information from wherever it comes from. And by the way, even Fox News, you can actually get good information from, if you know how to discern that information, if you know how to parse the information. Because again, reporters are reporters are reporters. They are good, they're bad, and each individual capitalist media association or group, they have good and bad reporters as well. MSNBC have good and bad reporters. CBS have good and bad reporters. So it's about discerning the information, corroborating the information, distilling the information, and putting it in one place for the readers that we have. I use my Substack, my website, etc. Common Dreams have its own plethora of folks that it uses. Daily Kos has people power, but it also has its staff of people who go out there and do the homework. In fact, for a time, I was actually an editor at Daily Kos as well. But I first try, and I hope all of you start to do that. Go to your independent media sites first, and then branch off to the corporate sites, if you will. And what that does is it gives you, first you get an aggregation of independency, and then you can move on. Some of the good rags to go to: opednews.com, dailycoast.com, open thenation.com, jacobin.com, all these, I should make a list of all these great sites and put it on my site. All of these sites give you good information, biased information, and the ones that I just mentioned are progressively biased. Yes, they are. But our belief is that the progressive values are what have moved the poor, the middle class forward. And I don't think there's any conjecture about that. Anyhow, um, two articles I came up with. One, alarming. Trump CFPB drops cases against companies accused of cheating consumers. And the second article is the 45 companies on the MAGA anti-DEI hit list. I want to get the DEI hit list thing out of the way first of all. And this was an article in Bloomberg, and it said, for President Donald Trump's operatives seeking corporate targets to investigate for illegal DEI, conservative activists have already done the legwork and drawn up a list. From Amazon.com, that Inc. to Yum Brands, 45 companies with a combined market value of almost $10 trillion have been attacked for their DEI efforts in the past 3 years by groups led by Stephen Miller, now the White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, and anti-affirmative action activist Edward Blum. Corporate lawyers and advisors are now poring over the list for clues as to which companies may eventually end up being investigated by the government. Again, think about this. The government under Trump, led by Stephen Miller, someone that is more than a Nazi sympathizer, they are going after private companies who decide they want to have a diverse workforce, not an incompetent workforce, a workforce where all competent people are there, but ensure that it looks like America. Is that a favor? No, it's not. After all, shoppers in America, the shoppers that brother Jack Van Bever was talking about, all those shoppers look like all of us here in America. And therefore, the people who serve you, the people who design for you, there shouldn't be a bias that prevents them from looking like you. The fallacy that DEI somehow is a degradation of competency so that they can hire people that are not the majority of the population is a lie. In fact, one of the major users of DEI, and necessarily so, white women, are the largest component of DEI. And why is that the case? Because women in the aggregate, white women, black women, all women, have always been given the short end of the economic stick. And this isn't done by the short end of the economic stick, wasn't only given by white men, but black men, Latino men. All these folks have had their boot on women's necks. Doubt it? Go to the church that it's still prevalent in the church where women are discriminated against. DEI solved that problem as far as ensuring that all competent people for a particular job are taken into account, not that your gender or your genitalia determines your success. And the same applies to the pigmentation of your skin won't be the thing that determines success. Your competency is first. And DEI ensures that your competency for the job is first. But you should not be prevented from getting the job. Continuing with the app here. Corporate diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, many of which were implemented less than 5 years ago when companies rushed to address historic inequities after the murder of George Floyd by a white police officer, are now in sharp focus on the new administration moves to dismantle DEI. The Justice Department, which is preparing a report by March 1st, identifying steps to deter the use of, here's what they say, discriminatory DEI programs in the private sector, has even threatened criminal investigations. How possibly can a DEI program be discriminatory? I mean, the things that this administration comes up to, I know some of folks on the right are going to say, well, because I was just as qualified as that person and they picked that person. I want anybody who has the notion to make that statement to ask yourself, for all the past inequities that have occurred from the inception of this country, for all the past inequities that continue to occur, how can one make that statement? I'm not talking on an individual basis. I have friends who feel that they were discriminated against because of DEI programs. And were they, as an individual, discriminated against? I'm going to be honest. There's a possibility that that is true. There is a possibility that that bias did occur in the name of we really want this place to look like America. On the individual basis, that may be true. But in the aggregate, on a national basis, on a worldwide basis, that is the furthest thing from the truth. If you doubt it, look at all the CEOs in this country, look at all the managers in this country, look at all the people in control of this country, look at who is president of this country. Which other person with several baby mamas that have stolen, that have created false it's 501c3 companies and pocketed the money, that have stiffed workers, that have the competence level or intellectual level of a fifth grader? How could that person become president of the United States? So, again, I think once we become an honest folk, when I say us, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about those who choose to try not to be. It becomes readily evident. But what's dangerous about this article is that the idea that you as the government is going to come against companies and criminally or civilly sue them because they have instituted programs to level a playing field, instituted programs to make your salesperson, to make your managers reflect who America really is. That is a dangerous proposition. That is a proposition that would have been seen in Germany in 1932, in 1930, in 1929. And that's not who we are as Americans. And one of the good things that I saw happen out of this attempt by the government to force companies, or by MAGA to force companies to get away from looking like America, doing the right things, is the Target versus Costco result by the population. Target decided that it was going to strip its DEI programs, and they are being penalized for that because all of us are shoppers, whomever you are, whatever ethnicity, whatever pigmentation. We're all Americans shopping at Target, and now they're being penalized. Costco, with people's walking away. Costco, a company that I've always respected. Not all corporations are bad. There are some corporations that are damn good. And Costco said, not us. We are going to continue doing the right thing. And for continuing to do the right thing, they were rewarded by a 15% increase in their subscriber base and people who decided to become members of Costco. Do you know what 15% of your 15% increase of your base shopper base is? That is huge. So any company listening out there deciding that they want to follow the evil that the Trump administration represents and want to follow that path, I have one message for you. Those of us in the activist community will ensure, in fact, we are going to be printing all these companies and making America aware of all these companies that decide that they don't want your dollar. We're going to make sure that all these companies that decide to drop their DEI programs are placed on the forefront so America understands we're not to shop. And for those of you who work for these companies, I would urge you to go into these offices at these companies to let them know that they are putting your job at risk if they decide to disinstitute DEI programs that simply look for competency levels throughout the country for all Americans. And for those companies that decided that they are going to do the right thing, we will highlight, we will embrace, we will make sure that people do more shopping in these locations. We are going to show that people power matters, the grassroots matters. And most people, as I've always said, most people are good people. Most Americans are good people. The fracture created in America is that psychological game that is very well played by having you fear your neighbor. It's a psychological game instituted by despots and autocrats. That is how they function. That's the only way they can function, and we won't abide by that. We, the good people of America, will stop that. I want to welcome Gayla Kunis. Gayla, welcome to Politics Done Right. I don't know if I got a chance to thank you yesterday. Thank you for that great contribution, Gayla Kunis, here on the chat. On the chat as well is Buddy Flood. We also have para ver, Eric Hayes is on the chat as well. Anyway, folks, I want to thank you guys for being contributors to KPFT. We cannot do this without you. Please give us a call, 713 526 5738. Again, that number is 713 526 5738. Hit extension 1, or please go to kpft.org, kpft.org, hit that donate button, bring down that scroll box, select Politics Done Right as the program you are supporting, and give whatever you can. Folks, right now, Politics Done Right is at a big donut. We are at zero. You know, we work hard to make sure we bring you real info, the news, and much more. I would appreciate if, as I'm pitching right now, we get a few calls to support the program, to support KPFT. One more time, 713 526 5738, extension number 1. Before I jump to Sandy, I want to give some suggestions. Um, Sandy mentioned a few days ago that we are able to drop one fund drive because we are building up on our sustainer base. That means people who say, I'm going to give $5 a month, $10 a month, $15 a month, $20 a month, $25, whatever you can, right? And that allows us to do more of our music, more of our information, more of our talk shows without having to do these continual asking for money, if you will. So I'm going to ask you, consider if you can give $5 a month, or $10 a month, or $15, whatever you can. I'm a $10 a month giver because I support several other progressive organizations as well, and I know many of you do. So do what you can. Uh, I'm a $10 a month subscriber, or rather, use whatever, $10 a month. That's a great price point. 15 a month is a greater price point, and of course, you want a brick with your information. $25 a month for a 4x8 brick, an 8x8 brick, $50 a month. Recently, a good friend of mine decided that we were worth it, and he decided to give $100 a month. Some have decided other numbers as well. Again, our T-shirt, the Politics and Right T-shirt, or any one of our T-shirts here at KPFT, $100 donation. So please consider doing that now. I'm at a zero. I would love to thank you on air. And please don't wait till the end of the show because you keep my heart in my throat as far as whether I am going to meet my quota. Sandy said $400. Yesterday I was short by I think $100 or so. So let's make that $500. So please give us a call, 713-526-5738 extension 1, and let me pass it on to Sandy. And Gil, I'll be up after Sandy.
Thank you, Egberto. Appreciate that. And you're not at zero, sir. Annette B put down a donation on KPFT to get things started from Colonial Heights, Virginia. All
Oh,
of you
thank
listening,
you.
Colonial Heights, Virginia beat you to the punch. This is your radio station, your community radio station that's gone global, reaching all corners of the earth, as just demonstrated with Annette's kind donation to start our Friday morning. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. And you are correct, Egberto. The sustaining memberships have made a tremendous difference already, allowing us to get off to a previously unknown start to a fund drive at KPFT. We're over 6 figures on day 9. That's pretty remarkable, folks. We got more work to do to reach the 170,000, but it's thanks to those sustainers that got us off the zero quickly. And then, of course, we have our Rodney Crowell Guy Forsyth concert to celebrate our 55th birthday. That's going to be on Friday, June 6th. Rodney Crowell will be there performing solo acoustic, a very rare treat when you hear performers just go out totally stripped down with an acoustic guitar. And then Guy Forsyth and his 78 Specials will be performing a high energy act that had my jaw scraping the studio floor when they performed on Deadbeat right in front of me on the other side of the glass. This is going to be a good evening to celebrate KPFT. Come out, be with like-minded people when you are signing up for this birthday party. We have general admission seats, we have reserved gallery seats, and we have 2 booths. That's a $2,000 pledge, seats 8. It's elevated above the rest of the floor on the first floor of the Heights Theater with an unrestricted view of the stage up near the soundboard. And those are available, seating 8, 2 of them at $2,000. The general admissions, $150 for a pair of tickets, $180 for a pair of reserved gallery tickets. Folks, no matter what you donate or how you donate, do join in. This is community radio, and all of us listening are part of the community, vis-a-vis the fact that you're there, you're listening to us. Why are you listening to us? We're commercial free, we're different. We have conversations that other stations will not have. We have music that other stations do not play because we're independent, we're free of commercialism, we're free of corporate guidance, if you will. Rather, we have volunteers like Egberto that come in Monday to Friday in this case and do their thing. They have their words and their music, and we all get to enjoy it as a collective. But to keep it, we got to pay the bills. So we do these fund drives, and we're asking you to be the next donation this morning behind Annette from Colonial Heights, Virginia. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. For those of you that don't want to go into the deep end, you don't want to dive right in, $40 donation gets you an enamel pen, lapel pen, to celebrate our 55th birthday. Remarkable. 55 years in H-Town, no commercials, and very, very little in the way of underwriting. Just us folks, the listeners. Egberto, back to you.
Thank you so kindly, Sandy. And Annette V, thank you so kindly for your donation. And it says, do not give up. We will never give up, Annette V. We'll never give up. I want to welcome Joe from Los Angeles, California. Gaila Kunis, I don't know where you're from. I like to call people where people are from. Or Buddy Flood, I don't know where you're from either. Eric Hayes is from Kingwood at Atascocita. Let me know where you're from, people. Okay, let's go to Gil, line numero uno. Come on in, Gil.
Well, number one, I can't believe that. Good morning, sir.
Good
My
morning, my
my
friend.
thank you. My question is, what percentage for the federal budget does the income revenue from higher tariffs constitute? I mean, will it make any difference in terms of the overall deficit? Will we even feel it? And I mean, even if the budget cuts do materialize, are we going to see any increase in our FICA or decrease in our FICA in our paychecks?
You are a very smart character, my friend. And let me first start with the tariffs. The tariffs are marginal. Let me first say Trump, in his utter wisdom, believed that somehow he would be able to generate enough tariffs so that the deficit doesn't look as bad. Okay. That's wishful thinking. First of all, let's be clear here. When a tariff is applied to a product, if a 10% tariff applies to a product, that 10%, not all of that 10%, because it's usually on the raw product, not the increased in sale price of the product. A part of that is coming directly to you, the consumer. So all that money, extra money the Treasury will collect, will be money it collected from you, the American population, the poor and the middle class. That is what the tariffs have. Now, as far as how much of the budget, let's give an example. Let's say he says, I'm going to put tariffs on 500, or let's give a realistic number of $125 billion worth of coal coming into the country from Canada. That tariff is a 25% tariff. That tariff would be equivalent to collecting on that 125, let's call it $100 billion, equivalent to collecting $25 billion. The problem is the following: when you apply a tariff to a product from overseas, since you are the one paying for the tariff, in the general, the demand for that product drops. So therefore, putting tariffs on 120 or $100 billion doesn't immediately give you another $25 billion in revenue for the Treasury. Worse, it also makes people shift where they are buying from. So if you have tariffs in Canada, what you think is going to happen? We're going to go to Brazil. Maybe there's a lower tariff that I will charge my customer. So no, it's not. It's going to be measurable in the aggregate. It's not going to be substantial. There was a recent study that was done that pointed out that we do $4 trillion worth of trade, meaning the most tariff you can collect would be on $4 trillion of goods a year. But we have an economy that generates, I think it is $27 trillion. So taxing your local economy will always bring you orders of magnitude more money than trying to tax goods coming into the country. That's number one. The other question you asked is, what about FICA and these other things? None of that will change. But here's the thing about FICA, Gil. What we should change in FICA is not have an upper limit. I think FICA right now has an upper limit of 100 and something thousand dollars. So let's say you make over $200, you don't pay any FICA. So all those people that have millions of dollars that they pay no FICA on all of that. They pay Medicare taxes, but they don't pay FICA. What that means is, for the average middle class poor people, FICA is a regressive tax, while for rich people, FICA is a negligible tax. And that is what's unfair about the whole thing. Anything else, Gil, or did I answer the question, or do I need to amplify?
Yeah, FICA is limited that way.
Yes,
I thought.
you don't pay FICA on all your income. You only pay FICA on a certain amount of your income, and then no more. Yeah. It's one of those other things where we, the poor people, or the middle class people, pay all the bill. Let me put, what is the limit amount on FICA? Let me see if I can give you the exact number. Over here it is, over $176,100. So if you make over $176,100, you pay no FICA above that amount. Okay? You pay on the first 176,000, but you don't pay any FICA on anything over that, which is free money for you. The only tax you pay on that money is income tax and social and Medicare tax. But let me give you another thing that they do to you. there's something called capital gains. If you get paid with dividends or capital gains, you also don't pay FICA on that amount of money. It's amazing how the laws are written for wealthy people. The tax laws are written for wealthy people, and now they want to give you even more tax cuts to our wealthy. It's a shame, it's a sham, and they count on people not knowing why they can get away with it. Continue, my brother.
Híjole, Sue. Well, okay. That's all right. That answers my question. So, well, it looks like I better go work a second job or something. I guess, man. I don't know.
Let me tell you, there are a lot of things that we need to do. Yeah, a second job, if you can hang it, is never bad. You can get a chance to put some money away. But let me tell you the most important thing: to stay politically engaged, to ensure that the people that get into Congress and your local boards, etc., are actually instituting policies that support we the people. And that's what we don't have. So I'm glad you're listening. I want to thank you for listening. Now we can make a difference. All right.
Thank you so much. Have a good day now.
You have a wonderful day, sir. All right, folks. Let's go to Brother Lewis, line number 3.
Hey, what's going on? Good morning.
Talk to me. Good morning, sir. Talk to me.
Well, okay, so like I used to pay into Social Security pretty heavily all the time, and it was really a relief when you finally got to that upper end to get a little break. So I'm one of those guilty ones that get paid Social Security and stuff. I mean, once you reach a certain level. But I got a question for you. Do you collect Social Security or anything?
If I collect Social Security,
Yep.
I will be
Yeah.
collecting Social Security at a particular age. Absolutely. Why?
So you don't pay any Social Security at all right now because you're a volunteer and you don't have an income, correct?
Oh, well, actually, that's not true. Actually, I have a media company, and I pay Social Security with my media company. So I am paying. Look, let's get something clear here, Brother Lewis. I'm doing this on a volunteer basis, and not only am I doing this on a volunteer basis, but I gave up a profitable company, a software company, to do this. I have paid
Right.
hundreds of thousands of, no, actually more than $1 million in income taxes, social security taxes, and all kinds of taxes. So I am very happy to
Right.
really hit up all these issues because I have done my dues as an American citizen and paid my dues as an American citizen. So I'm not a taker, I am a giver. Continue, my brother.
Okay, so the thing is it's an investment, and when you put money into an investment, you want to get a return. If you were to put more than $7 million into Social Security, which is not a true statement on you, you
Mhm.
blended together income tax and all kinds of other stuff, but you want to get your money back, correct?
Actually, I did. I gave everything that I said previously was absolutely true and accurate. Now, let me just mention about investment.
Your
Social
investment though,
Security. Hold on a second.
investment.
Let me answer your question, my brother. Social Security is not an investment. It's a social program. Just like when you pay taxes, income taxes, and they build roads. Not everybody get to take advantage of all the roads. We do it as a social contract. That is a problem within a capitalist society. We want everything to look at the domain of investing and taking out that you're investing. Let me give you a statement of fact. Whenever you hear somebody make a statement like, "I make my money work for me," nobody's money work for them. And I don't have a problem with profits or any of that because it's a fairly good system. But nobody money's work for them. What you mean is you want other people to work for you. And that's fine if it's done in a humane, marginal manner. Now let's get to the point as far as Social Security being an investment. Social Security is not an investment. It is a social program to keep society going. Those who are rewarded with very high salaries, many times undeserved, but high salaries, they pay more into the system. And those people who are rewarded with low salaries, later on they don't die from starvation. And let me give a rationale behind that. A job like a teacher in our society doesn't pay a lot, but a stockbroker gets paid millions. Some stockbrokers pay million. The marginal utility of a stockbroker compared to a teacher is far different. We can live without the stockbroker. We can't live without the teacher. Yet the way a capitalist society rewards a stockbroker is more so than a teacher. A teacher is really worth more. So that we have a social security system that ensures that that teacher can be made whole is perfectly fine. So no, social security is not an investment program. It is a social program and one that is humane and necessary. Continue, my brother.
So different professions require different amounts of brain power, and I think that's where you
Thank
get
you for
your
saying exactly. Thank you for that. Thank you for saying that. A stockbroker does not require brain power. A teacher requires brain power. Let's give an example. There is a movie called Trading Places, and it was one of the best movies I thought to show what capitalism is all about. Eddie Murphy in this movie was a vagabond on the street. And we had a person that was big into stockbroking and all of that, and he was the millionaire and lived the high life. These two brothers had an experiment that they want to do. Let's see what we can do with this
yeah,
hobo. This hobo, and the hobo came and he learned the field and he did just fine. My contention is uh, it is false to make that your statement was a categorically false statement when you said that somehow you're compensated based on your worth to society or your knowledge. That is absolutely not true. Elon
So
Musk is the richest.
you're saying
Hold
that
on.
those three actors that got paid, hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars for trading places in the capitalist world as actors,
They're
should
not
get
worth
paid
it.
You're,
No, no. What I'm saying is they're not. Look, we do it, but I'm just saying they're not worth it. I mean, Elon Musk is worth $400 billion, right? But Elon Musk couldn't write any of the programs that I
innovation.
wrote.
Yeah.
He hasn't innovated anything, is what I'm saying. The innovation that Elon Musk used
He
all
didn't.
came from other people. Go ahead.
He didn't just get the money though. He coordinated. He managed.
No,
He ran.
again, wrong, wrong again,
He
wrong
did
again,
make
again,
decisions.
sir. And
He
you see
didn't just.
that, sir, that is a
I
fallacy that we allow ourselves to hear, and what is well
Well, why
promoted.
don't you have
No,
that on Musk?
no,
How
sir.
come
I'm
you don't have
sorry,
it? You're
sir. You're
smarter
wrong.
than he.
Sir, you're
You
wrong.
should
You're
have that. You just made a statement there, brother.
Go ahead.
That Elon Musk is a dope and that he shouldn't have any of that money.
That's not
Well
true.
then,
That's not true. That's not how our society works. Uh,
why does he have it?
he has the
He did,
money because he was in the right place at the right time with the right attributes and the right
okay,
people ahead. There's no doubt. But
right.
anyway, I don't want to hold everybody up, but let me just tell you this. We can continue this
I'll
conversation.
get your
I
money
hope
back.
you're a regular listener. I hope you're a regular listener. You can continue this conversation, but no, he is not worth it. Nor, I mean, we can do that another time. Let's do that another time, Louis. Thank you for the call, and thank you for bringing these issues up for us to clarify. Let's go to
And that
Bruce,
one.
line number two.
Good morning, Alberto. I'll make it very fast. I'm going to join Costco after listening to you this morning. They should boycott the big boxes today, but would it be all right to go to Costco, or wouldn't that send a message if you flooded the responsible company
You
at the
know,
same time the
I,
others?
I am not, since it's not my it isn't my, I am not the activist that promoted the February 28th. I'm going to go in solidarity with the February 28th folks and not shop.
Okay.
Okay, but because now if I were the one doing this, I'll say yes, let's all go to the good companies today. But it's not my activism, so I'm going to take a pass on that. All right, Bruce. But yeah, do go Costco. Costco is a good company. Thank you, brother.
Statement. One quick
Yeah, go ahead.
statement.
Yes, sir.
After World War II, we had a very high tax rate on the millionaires and the super rich, and the country absolutely boomed. What's going on right now is just like Idi Amin in Uganda used to eat his own people. Economically, Billionaires. Economically, the billionaires are eating their own people. They're
Before,
trying
Bruce,
to just.
you're right.
I mean,
I gotta
yeah.
go. I gotta go to Sandy, Bruce. But before you go, I want to
I,
remind you something. There's a mathematical reason why that worked, and and it's called the marginal propensity to consume in economics, and that's the reason why. Thank you, very Bruce. Let me run to Sandy so that we can get some money in because we're behind. Sandy.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit behind, but that always seems to be the case when we go on fund drive. It's seldom when we can say, oh man, we made the goal in the first 5 minutes of a program. Very seldom. In this case, I can't say that. We've got but one pledge in, and that was from Colonial Heights, Virginia. Houston, Woodland, Spring, League City, Pasadena, Richmond, Rosenberg. Where are you? River Oaks, where are you? Come on, chime on in. We've had 561 donations. We're looking to you to be the 562nd. We have all kinds of goodies. And one thing that comes to mind whenever I get on the call here at this hour is coffee, and maybe a coffee cup to pour it into. Well, we have that. We have the Caroline Street Coffee Combo. You get a bag of Lola Savannah Abaca beans and a Caroline Street coffee mug together. And you can get that for a $120 donation. You can make that $10 a month for 1 year, or just join us as a sustainer at $10 a month and pick up that coffee and coffee cup. So when you wake up in the morning, you get something good to brew and something good to drink from KPFT as a thank you for your donation. And oh, by the way, if you sign up as a sustainer, no matter the amount, our local station board is ponying up $9 for every new sustainer. We had one more member of that board step up the other day to go from $8 to $9. So every dollar counts. Don't think that your $5 bill doesn't make any difference. It does. We're a community radio station. We have thousands of people listening right now to this program. If you're driving, don't do anything like try to donate while you're driving. Wait till you get to a safe place, or wait till you can do it later, because you can donate anytime at kpft.org. Doesn't have to be right now. Doesn't even have to be during a fund drive. Or you can call 713-526-5738, option 1, and talk to somebody on the phone, and they'll guide you through it. $120 donation, you'll get the coffee and the coffee mug. The mug itself is available for a $75 donation. We run on listener support, folks, and we cannot do this without you. We don't have commercials. We don't have a whole lot in the way of underwriting, and we have to be really careful with that. As you know, the FCC is going after PBS and NPR for commercialism. Well, Pacifica already had its bout with that, and we have a consent decree with the FCC, and we're sailing on, observing the rules. But we need your support at this time. This is no joke. I mean, 55 years, 1970, March 1st is when this all began, and someone made a donation on that day, and then perhaps the next. And when they held their first fund drive, people donated back in 1970, till we were bombed off the air by the Ku Klux Klan twice, and funds were raised to get the transmitter repaired and back on the air again. And so the fund drives continued, and they led us to today. Almost 55 years of listener support from the community. And we're asking this morning for a very modest amount of money. $400, $500 is what Egberto said for the 1 hour. I'm down with that. And we're $475 away. So 4 of you chiming in at the $10 a month level would get it. 4 of you. That's all it would take out of the thousands of people listening. Not everybody does take that step. A lot of people listen and never donate. A lot of people listen for a long time before they donate. It's the nature of the beast. We understand that. It's up to each individual to decide what they can afford to donate. Maybe you can afford nothing at this point. Maybe that's for a later time. Then again, maybe you can afford to write the whole check for Egberto this morning. You know, I don't know your individual circumstance. Egberto contributes monthly. I contribute monthly. A lot of us at KPFT do the same because we understand and we know that without a free speech platform in Houston, communication and dialogue of the nature that we're having this morning, it's just not possible. So consider where we are in this time of man, in this time of America. Free speech under attack? I think so. Let's keep it here in Houston by keeping KPFT. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. We've got all kinds of musical adventures for you to go on in terms of concerts. You can inquire. When you go online and you put in the pledge amount, the next screen that you will get to when you hit continue will ask for your credit card information, but below that, when you scroll, you will see all the thank you gifts you are eligible, and you can wait and pick that gift and then enter your card information, or just select no gift. Select Free Speech Radio KPFT as your gift, and let's continue this great media experiment in what is probably the most diverse town in America, the most diverse city in America, the blueprint for tomorrow, residing right here on the Gulf Coast. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. We've got just a few minutes left in the program, and we are a long way from where we need to be. Back to you, Egberto, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you so kindly, Sandy. I'm going to go to the phones in a minute, and we're going to kind of limit that to about a minute or so. But I need to do an important response. First of all, I kind of spoke over the last guest a little bit. We were speaking at the same time, and I try to avoid that, but we have sort of a delay. But I want to show you what our guest did, Brother Gil. He made it clear that he made more than the $176,000, which means anything over $176,000 he doesn't pay any FICA on. And that's fine. That's the way the system runs right now. But then he personalized it against and wanted to know, well, aren't you on Social Security? You are a taker. That was the implication. You can speak this way because you are a taker. The next step in the and this is what has been subliminally taught to us so that we vote against our interests, so that we don't support policies that are beneficial to all of us. He then says, don't you want a return on your investment? Just a simple capitalist, no social thinking. Social Security is supposed to be, whether it was designed that way or not, a social program, not a program of investments. And the belief that somehow our economic system attributes your earnings to your worth, to the environment, to society, etc., is a false statement that we have to first understand before we start looking out for ourselves. You have to understand that the fallacy of capitalism being the efficient distribution of resources is false. A teacher is the most valuable person in our society, yet it is one of the lowest paid jobs in the professional realm. While a stockbroker is one of the most useless persons within our society, yet they are paid the most. And Elon Musk is on that end of the spectrum. This is not an arbitrary statement. This is not a vindictive statement. This is not an envious statement. This is just a statement of fact. Let's go to Patrick, line number 4.
Very, very good show today. You touched on a lot of things I've wanted to talk to you about. You last Thursday or the Thursday before, you shut down a couple of people, and I thought that was great. I don't think you do it often enough. And the reason why I can say I don't think you do it often enough is because not only do these people lie, but they sneak in premises that are not correct. And you touched on that, and we'll go into depth in that when we have more time. But I'd also like to point out that Social Security, most people don't understand how it works. I'm putting in money for the people that are retired right now. I'm not investing. I'm not trying to get. I'm investing. Actually, I'm investing in society. I'm investing in a system that gets young people to work. It gets folks that have worked hard their whole lives into retirement. It gets people that need care that can't afford it, what they need, and overall we benefit. So yes, it is an investment, but not in the sense of where you're going to collect interest on it. And the fact that we have a society that is always looking for that shows that we are absolutely broken people, and we are a broken society.
I want to
I'm
end. I
invested.
want to. I want to end it with that statement because it's a great statement. But I have to go. But I want to end. That's a great statement. We are a broken society, and I have a series with a PhD that talks about us being a broken society. Thank you very much, Patrick. Let me go to Johnny.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you, sir. You too, Johnny. I haven't heard from you in a while. Great hearing you, brother. Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm due to make my social contract to KPFT in the coming days, too. I haven't forgotten. Both Gil and the guy, I think, before him, those are both examples of why we need to define clearly what we mean by investment. Like the previous caller just said, there's different kinds of investing, and we mean different things. Different people mean different things, and he's right. These guys call into your show with their own agenda, and they are more interested in making a statement of hate and division rather than learning. They feel some kind of spite towards you, and I guess what? I will feel spite right back towards them until they come around and understand that we are not the enemy here. Here's something for them to think about. Elon Musk, how many billions of dollars does he have right now? Do you know offhand?
$400 billion. Well, it dropped to 376, but around 400 billion.
All right, let's say 300 billion. If you take your calculator and you divide $1 billion, just $1 billion by 1 million, that's equal to 1,000 years of income. Who lives that long to where they could justify that kind of money? Bernie was right. We should have no billionaires, especially at the same time while you and I speak, there are people living in their cars with their children who are holding down 1, 2, or even 3 jobs. Some of those people are holding down government jobs.
Johnny, you're,
work.
I got to cut you here, Johnny, but you're absolutely right. And by the way, like I've stated before, absolutely, no billionaire has earned not even 1 billion. Thank you, Johnny. And it's great that you're feeling better, brother. Your voice has been missed. Let's go to Anthony. Anthony, give me a minute.
Yeah, good morning. The thing that people don't understand because it happened such a long time ago, Social Security is a direct result. It's a product of the Great Depression.
Mm-hmm.
My father lived through the Great Depression. He saw grown men standing in soup lines to get a cup of coffee and a bowl of soup and a piece of bread because they couldn't work. They couldn't support their families. It was utterly horrible, the stories that he told me. And so President Roosevelt put forth this program. Most of the Republicans voted against it. It was voted in by a narrow margin, and the Republicans have been trying to get rid of it ever since. But the reason people have such a problem with Social Security is because they haven't lived long enough to realize how bad it was during the Great Depression. And if it wasn't for that program, there would be people right now starving to death on the streets of America because there would be no money for them. Because once you get old and once you're unemployable because of your age and your health and things like that, and you don't have any income, you're on the street.
Thank you, brother Anthony. You're right about. I gotta go. But thank you so kindly for those words, Anthony. Look, folks, we need to get. Thank you very much, Kumar. Thank you very much for your sustainer. So today we have a sustainer, 2 new, 1 sustainer, 1 donation. We still need another $400. Anybody wants to be the angel today, give us a call at actually do whatever you can. 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Extension number 1 to donate. Please as well consider going to kpft.org, kpft.org, hit that donate button, and then go ahead and hit Politics Done Right as a show you're supporting. Please contribute whatever you can. Before our station break, tag real quick.
Hey, Egberto,
I just wanted to make a quick comment about the trickle-down economy.
Yes.
You like this, and I just thought of this last night. You know, when we have an economy as it is right now, people are losing their jobs. So you have some people that are making pretty good wages, government jobs, some jobs in the manufacturing and whatnot. These jobs are being opened up. I mean, they're being let go. The job market is collapsing. Those people are going to go out and find other jobs, but they're probably going to be less paying jobs.
Amen.
And they're going to offset other people. So other people are going to lose their jobs, and the trickle down is going to be these people on the bottom of the job market are going to be out looking for babysitting jobs or picking up pop cans, anything to make a dollar, because they've been replaced by people that had higher paying jobs.
Tag.
And that's what I think trickle down economy is all about.
Tag, I gotta go to a station break, but let me tell you, first of all, I'm going to expand on what you just said. You just gave the most important statement thus far. I'm going to talk about that. Folks, this is KPFT Houston. Tag, people don't get it. A lot of people that want to sock it to the government workers, and again, this is how the misinformation machine works. They would have you believe that it is those libs that have all these government jobs. It is those worthless people that have these government jobs. And then the job cuts start to happen. And we realize that those folks in Alabama are starting to get cut at the University of Alabama. They noticed that subsidy they had for their electricity, they no longer have. And all these poor people, because remember, red states are poor states. Red states are taker states. Red states are the one that suck on the government. Blue states pay more into taxes than they take out. Okay, while the red state take more out of the government than they pay in. So now this stuff that Donald Trump is doing is going to hurt red states more so than blue states. But here's the kicker, and you just mentioned it. A lot of these people who are losing their jobs are losing high paying jobs and are going to have to get lower paying jobs. That means the Walmart. That means the sandwich shop. That means the baker. All of these people are going to make less money because they have lost a high paying job in that community. And when they start to make less money, the farmer makes less money, and the person they bought the flour from makes less money, and the person they bought the milk from make less money. So the trickle down effect. Thank you, Tag, for using that negative trickle down effect that you spoke about. It's going to affect more than just the 200,000 people losing jobs. It's going to affect over 1 million folks and beyond because of that trickle down effect. Tag, give me a quick closer.
Well, the fact is that these people that have been working at these higher paid jobs, they're going to go out and find other jobs. There's no doubt about that. But they're going to displace people on the bottom end. And so the people that are being sent back to Mexico or whatever, the fruit pickers and the people that mow lawns and stuff, these people those jobs will be replaced, but it's going to come from the higher up people that had jobs and now looking for new jobs. So our economy is going to be hurt some, but there'll be people there to fill those jobs and create new businesses. So that's a trickle down I see happening.
Thank you very much. You have a great one, Tag. I need to do up some pitching, but before, let me go to Brian real quick. Brian, real quick. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah,
good morning, sir.
I hope you meet your goal for hope you meet your goal for donations. First off, I have two statements. I'll make them real quick. The Epstein client list is going to be released, and that's going to be pretty nasty. Payback is not a nice thing when you try to hurt a president, and the logs are going to be written. Second off, there was no problem when the oil people got shut down to find new jobs. I don't hear that as a statement. There's people that was making $160,000 a year pumping oil, but everybody wants the new Green Deal and the new jobs. But nobody's complaining about their loss of income, are they? Because it's a nasty
Actually,
oil.
wait a minute. You just made a statement that needs to be, addressed, and that is true. A high-paying oil job, but guess what is a high-paying job as well? The green energy jobs are high-paying jobs as well. But I don't have the time to go through this right now, Brian. But I thank you for bringing that. You brought up something that tackles what Tag had to say, and those two I'd like to discuss them in combination. So thank you for bringing that up. Let's talk about that on Monday. Good man. Thank you, brother. All right, let me I did the station ID already. Let me just go ahead and say this, guys. We only have two contributions so far, and we only have 5 more minutes to go. So I'm asking you kindly to call 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Annette V, thank you for being the first donor today. And our second donor, Kamir, thank you so kindly for being that donor. But we are about $400 short. So I want to ask you kindly, the show, we've given most of the topics of the show. The rest can be found at politicsandright.com/newsletter. But we got a pitch to get a few things here. I ask kindly, respectfully, we need to support independent media. I ask you kindly to consider $5 a month or $10 a month, like I am doing right now. $10 a month, even as we give the show here, all of us are still contributors as well. $15 a month if you can, a big donation if you can. Go to kpft.org and you just hit the donate button, followed by the selecting Politics and Right as a show you're supporting. And please support the program. We cannot do this without you. This is your show. This is your station. Becoming a member means you also have a stake in the game. Sandy? Okay. I guess
Well,
Sandy.
he's getting some coffee.
Yeah, I figure he's getting coffee. So let me go ahead and ask one more time, folks. 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org, hit that donate button, go ahead and click Politics and Right, and give whatever you can. $5 a month, $10 a month, $20 a month, whatever you can. Is he back yet, Howard?
Yeah,
I hear
I'm
him
here.
banging around out there. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I got that high speed internet, which is mostly reliable. Most not. Actually, there are 3 donations on the board now. Egberto Troy from Crosby chimed in with a sustaining pledge. Troy, thank you for that. And of course, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Kamer from Rosenberg also made a sustaining donation. So we have 3 new members this morning, Annette, Kamer, and Troy, and 2 of them are sustainers. We're looking for you. We're about $300 short of our goal, $500 goal this morning, but we can get there. 3 phone calls, 3 of you doing $10 a month will exceed the goal. $10 a month. You leave the house with a $10 bill, what you gonna do with it? You're gonna go get 3 gallons of gas? You're gonna go get a fast food hamburger with a Coke? What are you gonna do with that $10 bill? You're gonna feed your mind by giving it to KPFT. We all have these choices. Don't give us your electricity money. Don't give us your grocery money. Pay your basic bills so that you can go on living. And for those folks listening, I've been through the corporate wars. I was retired before I came out of retirement to help KPFT along to where we are today. And when you're unemployed after having a 6-figure salary, a good income going, it's a really scary, scary moment. When you retire and there's no more paycheck, it's a scary moment. Social Security is an annuity that we invest in individually. This is your dollars, not somebody else's. You're not taking. All you're doing is recouping your investment that you've saved over a lifetime to get to in retirement. I can't speak loudly enough to that point. Egberto, we need $300. Our phone number is 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org and click donate. Come on now, let's make this program whole. Egberto works super hard on this. He's passionate. He puts everything he has into it. He's a good steward of the airwaves. He's responsible. We can't do this without folks like Egberto, and we can't live without KPFT. Back to you, Egberto. Good morning. Tomorrow we're 55. We will be at the Cactus Records on Norfolk from 2 to 5, broadcasting live tomorrow. If you want to stop on by and say hi. Thanks, Egberto.
Thank you very much. We are at our last minute right now, folks. I want to remind you we didn't get to cover everything in the program, so the rest of it is at politicsandright.com/newsletter. Look, again, we cannot do this without you. I want to throw it to the studio for some final thoughts before we close this baby down.
I've been seeing a lot of comparisons to, when Joe Biden canceled the pipeline that employed all these people, they're comparing it to the layoffs of the government. Well, the folks in the government were doing very good jobs for you. The pipeline workers were building a pipeline. Plus, the pipeline was was built for export of oil, not domestic. So there's a couple of confusing points about the pipeline and the government workers. So beware of that. And Jack says he hasn't anything, so go ahead and take it home, Egberto.
Anyway, folks, love you all. Callers, listeners, everybody. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out!
We now join Democracy Now! In Progress on KPFT Houston.